Good morning, New Bethel, and happy Father's Day to all of the fathers. Again, it is an honor and a privilege to be with you on this morning, not physically, but spiritually. And we invite you to just come into one place and let's just praise and worship the Lord all together. Amen. Hallelujah.
There is a name. Amen. Let the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. Amen. Again, good morning. And happy Father's Day. What a glorious time.
Yes.
Just to be able to be here on this day to simply say Happy Father's Day.
Yes.
Amen. Let me share something with you, and it's found in Matthew's Gospel. I want to look at chapter 17. Matthew chapter 17. I want to begin reading at verse 1. Listen to what it says. And after 6 days, Jesus taketh Peter, James, and John his brother, and bringeth them up into a high mountain apart, and was transfigured before them. And his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as the light. And behold, there appeared unto them Moses and Elias talking with him. Then answered Peter and said unto Jesus, Lord, it is good for us to be here. If thou wilt, let us make here 3 tabernacles, one for thee, one for Moses, and one for Elias. Then run your finger down to verse 15. It says, Lord, have mercy on my son, for he is a lunatic and sore vexed. For oftentimes he falleth into the fire, and often into the water. And I brought him to your disciples, and they could not cure him. He says, I brought him to your disciples, and they could not cure him. Amen. For a thought this morning, I want to talk on this subject. What's wrong with us?
Amen. Amen.
Amen. What's wrong with us? Amen. What's wrong with us? As we just read in Matthew's Gospel, the 17th chapter, beginning in verse 1, it opens with the story that many of us have been called to know as the Mountain of Transfiguration. It is on this mountain in the 17th chapter of Matthew that Jesus goes into a spiritual metamorphosis. Metamorphosis, that simply means a change on the outside that evolves from the inside. And Matthew chooses to use the word transfigured. Don't you know that when God gets involved in a person's life,
Yes.
then that person goes through a spiritual metamorphosis?
Yes.
It's something that happens to you on the inside
Right.
that people can see on the outside.
Yes.
And it is the old people who used to understand that maybe God was doing something with you, through you, and to you. And the old person might look at you and sum it up and saying, God's got his hand on you.
Yes, sir.
But he goes through a metamorphosis. I know that we just got through celebrating Juneteenth, and our forefathers probably never heard of the word metamorphosis, nor knew what that word meant.
Yes, sir.
But they could relate to what the word did from a personal experience.
Yes, sir.
In other words, don't you remember the old people used to say, I looked at my hands.
Yes, sir.
I wish I had some help here.
Yeah.
And my hands looked new, and then I looked at my feet, and they looked new too. Oh, what a change in my life.
Yes, sir.
I tell you, when God gets through with you, what a change in a person's life. We don't do what we used to do. My walk is different and my talk is different, but the transfiguration takes place on a mountain, and 3 of the disciples are privileged to see this.
Speak.
Verse 3 puts it like this: and behold, there appeared unto them Moses and Elijah, and he was talking to him. I want you to understand the uniqueness of this event, because if you know anything about biblical history, Moses had been dead for over 1,700 years.
Yes.
But he's speaking.
But.
Notice our beloved Peter's take on the situation. He looks at what's going on and he simply says, Lord, it is good for us to be here. And I don't know about you, but anytime I'm in church, that's a good place to be.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He wants to build 3 churches on this mountaintop. And it seems like, from just reading this, that Peter wants to stay up there all day.
Go ahead.
Isn't that like some of us?
Yes, sir.
I said, isn't that like some of us?
Said.
Think we got to be in church all day long to get saved.
Yep. All right.
Don't you know that I don't mean in the home, but don't you know there are some people that stay in church all day and leave out with just as much hell in them as they.
Yep.
Yeah, Lord.
But watch this. Verse 5. It says that while he yet spake, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and behold, a voice out of the cloud which said, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased.
Yes.
For those of us that have children, and those of us that are children, do you not know that we have a duty to bring joy to the eyes of our parents
Yes, sir.
and make them proud? One of the most hurtful things I can recall as a younger person, a young boy, one of the most hurtful things that I can recall that I heard from my mother. One day she looked at me because of something that I had done. And she said to me, I'm very disappointed in you.
Go ahead.
I never will forget the look on her face.
Speak, Master.
I don't think a whipping would have hurt as much as hearing my mother say that I had let her down and I was disappointed, but all I knew is that I never wanted to see that hurt in her face again.
Right.
But it's a testament to a child when a parent is made proud of their children.
Yes.
What a testament to the Son, Jesus the Christ, to please the Father. Notice that when parents are pleased with their children,
Yes, sir.
they share that pleasure with other people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you read the text, you got to understand that Moses was there, Elijah was there, Peter, James, and John, and God said that this is my beloved Son in whom I'm well pleased. I don't know about you, but every day I strive to make Daddy proud.
Yes, sir.
Some days I fall short, but my wake-up method, my mode of operation is to please my Father every single day. Watch this, watch this, watch this. Verse 6 says that when they had heard this, it says that they fell on their faces. And if you know anything about the Bible, that's normally what transpires when men have met God. They have fallen down in a prostrate position on their faces.
Go ahead, Master.
Verse 14 says, and when they had come down. You don't have to stay in church all day long
Right.
to be a help to somebody.
That's right.
I think I told you some time ago that people a lot of times are not concerned about what we talk about inside these four walls. Their concern is when you leave out of here, is there a word from the Lord?
Yes.
But watch this. We love some church. We miss the church experience.
Yes, sir.
Right now, there are some of us that are sitting at our homes right now. Can't wait to get back to church. Don't know when we're going to start back again, but I do know that we will start back. But until that day comes, if you're anything like me, you miss this church.
Yes, sir.
But you know, we can't stay in church all day. The church cause is bigger than pews and ceiling fans.
Yes, sir.
We have a greater cause than just sitting in padded pews and in air.
Listen.
They had a spiritual explosion while they were up there on this mountain of transfiguration. But again, it's more to it than staying in church all day long.
Yes, sir.
I think I need to just tell you this. If you really just think about it, church really starts after the benediction.
Yeah.
Watch this. Well, church on the mountaintop has ended, but where church ends, the healing began.
Yes, sir.
We can't get so caught up, y'all, on the church experience that we forget or neglect the fact that there are some people that need helping in the valley.
Yeah.
They had been up on the mountain. They were privileged. Peter, James, and John were privileged to be up there on this mountain to witness something that nobody else had ever witnessed, and it was a privilege for them to be there. But we can't get so caught up in the mountaintop experience that we forget that there are some people that may need us down in the valley.
Yes, sir.
I think I need to tell you this. There's nothing wrong with being up on the mountain, but you need to understand that for every mountain, there's a valley somewhere.
Yeah.
And it seems as though that Peter was so into the mountaintop experience that he never concerned himself with those that may need us down in the valley.
Yeah.
I don't know who I'm talking to this morning, but truth be told, if you just go look in the mirror, you can testify that I too, pastor, once was what you call a valley person.
Go ahead.
Anybody in here ever been so far down that you were going through something and it put you in a position where you were so far down it was just too hot to even look up? I'm talking about some valley experiences. Well, look what happens, and I thank God for Jesus, because it doesn't matter what our thinking may be. Peter wanted to stay up there. Peter said, Lord, while we're here, why don't we just build 3 churches while we're here? Peter, he had no intention on coming back down, but I thank God that Jesus knows what lies up ahead.
Yes, sir.
Look what it says here. The Father, look what the Father, he says, Lord, have mercy on my son. When I look at the youth of today, they need mercy.
Have mercy, Lord.
I don't know who I'm talking to, but there may be a parent listening to me right now. At some point in your life, and in the life of your child, you have had to go to God in prayer and ask for mercy on your child.
Yes, sir.
Before he gets into the particulars of what is going on, he simply first asks for the Lord to have mercy on his son. Watch this. He says that my son is a lunatic. I don't want you to start talking about this boy and turn a cold shoulder toward what's going on, because truth be told, some of y'all got something wrong with your children.
Yeah.
But he says that he does a self-diagnosis. He says that my son is a lunatic, and he's so vexed. In other words, he's troubled, and what he's going through has troubled him so until oftentimes it puts him in harm's way. Sometimes he falls into the fire, and sometimes he almost drowns. Can you imagine this father's restlessness, because it seems as though he has to have eyes on his son 24 hours a day?
Yes, sir.
My heart bleeds and my heart goes out to any parent that knows what I'm talking about.
Listen.
He can't leave him unattended, and I feel that it is a need to tell you that sometimes when our kids act out and act up, well, when I was growing up, we didn't have time out. You got knocked out, but we didn't have time out. And I feel that I feel the need to tell you that a lot of times we need to wake up, because a belt ain't always the answer.
Right.
Ritalin and Adderall ain't always the cure-all. And time out only gives them sometimes more time to think about what else they can do to get on our last nerve.
Yes, sir.
But to all the parents that are out here listening, all help and all hope is not gone. Because if you read the story, this man exercised in the midst of what he's going through with his son. He exercises enough patience and faith to wait on Jesus to come down and do something.
Yes, sir.
I don't really know who I'm talking to, but every now and then you have to be patient and wait for Jesus to do what he does. That's why the old people used to say, he may not come when you want him.
Yes, sir.
But somebody can co-sign that he's always on time.
Yes, sir.
I want to pause on Father's Day and high-five this father, because if you've never ever had to deal with a problem child, sometimes you know it causes sleepless nights. Sometimes it causes you.
Listen.
I feel when it seems like there's no help. But notice the plight of the father. But I mean, we know, again, this is Father's Day.
Right.
And we know what he possibly could have done. He could have done like so many other fathers. He could have abandoned the situation.
Yes, sir.
I don't know who I'm talking to, but some of you all out here, you know how it feels to grow up in a home where you had an absentee father. I hear what you're saying. Well, just because he's there every day doesn't mean he still can't be an absentee father.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But we know what he could have done. And I don't know, I can't honestly say what I would have done.
Amen.
But I want to say to all fathers, no child was ever asked to be born.
Say that, Pastor.
And we have a moral responsibility,
Yes, sir.
to take care of the fruit of our womb.
Yes, sir.
On this day, I think I need to tell you that no judge should have to sit behind a bench and tell you to take care of your own child.
Say that, Pastor.
Yeah, you brag about how many you have, but are you taking care of the ones that you do have?
Yes, sir.
Well, and I can even imagine the flack that maybe this father may have caught from some of the fellow fathers in his circle when the question may have been asked after observation, what's wrong with your child? Can't you do anything with him? And sometimes we are in a situation where the devil has taken control of our children, and it seems like our hands are tied, and we can't get help from society, we can't get help from government, but sometimes our help comes from God.
Listen.
Well, sometimes we ask what's wrong with them. And we've searched and searched and we can't find And he answers, and I'm sure, just like a loving, caring father that I believe that this father was, he may have even sought out medical and professional help. But what do you do? Do you give up on them? No, you can't. You know why? Because they look to us for guidance and direction.
Oh, gotcha.
But what do you do? In my closing, what do you do when it seems like you've done all you can?
Yes, Lord.
And it seems like it's not enough. Well, this father, no doubt in my mind, felt helpless among the disciples who should have been able to do something.
Right.
You ever been in a situation where all you really needed was the Lord to do something?
Yes, sir. Yes.
I got bills that are due. Anybody been there? I've got bills that are due, and I don't even know how I'm going to pay them. I need the Lord to do something. Every now and then, you just need him to do something. One of the most tragic statements in all the Bible is written in verse 16. And it simply says, and I brought him to your disciples. These are the people that walk with you and do things that they have seen you do. But I brought him to your disciples, and they couldn't do anything for him. Well, oftentimes Jesus' patience, his patience with our ineptitude to help those that need help grows thin sometimes.
Right.
We panic. Those of you that are sitting out here listening to me, truth be told, we panic.
Yes, sir.
We panic when wine runs out of the well. We panic. We stress over a storm when we know Jesus is on board the boat.
Yes, sir.
We give up when there's 5,000 men and only a 2-piece fish sandwich. How are we going to feed all these people? But the text and the story says that Jesus himself knew what he was going to do. Aren't you glad today?
Yes.
That he still knows what he's going to do?
Yes.
What do you do when people are sick and can't cure themselves? Those of us that are church goers, we say we love God, or we talk a good talk. But I've had to confront people who don't understand when their lights are cut off, that Jesus is the light of the world.
Right.
They don't understand when they don't have food to feed their children, that he's bread in a starving land. What do you do when you've done all that you can and it seems like it's not enough?
Listen.
Well, the question was, Lord, why couldn't we do that? Well, if you want to get your child and your family to where God wants them to be, you're going to have to realize that some things are just out of your hands, and you're going to have to turn it over in the hands of God.
Yes.
Well, they want to know. Jesus says, bring him here. Can I make a suggestion to you?
Yes, sir.
If you haven't, get your kids to Jesus.
Yes, sir.
If you haven't, get your relationship to Jesus.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If somebody's sick in your family, take them to Jesus.
Yes, sir.
If you in some situation where it don't look like you're going to get out of it, don't push the panic button. Turn it over to Jesus and let somebody know that he'll work it out if you just turn some stuff over to him.
Yes, sir. Talk.
Well, finally, the monumental question, rather, is in verse number 19, when the disciples come to Jesus after they've seen what he did, and they want to know why. Lord, why we couldn't cast him out. Well, a lot of times the Bible is clear on this fact that we walk by faith
Right.
and not by sight. Jesus says the reason why you can't do what you should be able to do is because you have a faith deficiency.
Yes, Lord.
Jesus was going to tell them that if you just had a little faith,
Yes, yes.
just the size of a grain of a mustard seed, you could speak to some things that have bothered you in the past.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do I have some co-signers in here who can honestly say there's some things that used to bother me years ago?
Yes, sir.
I can sleep through them now. Because when I realized that when I had a Jesus to turn some things over to, it made it a whole lot better. So I say to you today that you can sleep good at night. You can rest well in the midst of turmoil when you turn some stuff over to Jesus. That problem that I had, I couldn't seem to solve. I tried, but I only got deeper involved. But I turned it over to Jesus. And I stopped worrying about it. Sometimes we have to learn to turn some things over to Jesus.
Yes, yes.
Then finally, I say this to you that is sitting out here, and those of you that are listening, and those of you that are watching, don't give up.
Yes, sir. Listen.
Don't give up on your children. Again, they didn't ask to come here.
Right.
Teach them
Teach them.
the ways of our Savior,
Yes, sir.
and turn them over to God. And I promise you, He'll work it out.
Have mercy.
Don't jump ship. Don't throw in the towel. Because you have to understand that that's the fruit of your womb.
Yes.
That's the seed of your loins.
Yes, sir.
That's your offspring. And they are our treasure.
Yes.
Come on, let's bow our heads. Father God, we thank you again for this message this morning.
Yes, Lord.
Thank you for allowing us to call you our Father. We are your children.
Yes.
And through the years, we want to thank you for child support.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I am where I am today. But I want you to understand that if it had not been for the Lord
Right.
who was on my side. And then, Lord, I want to thank you again
Thank you, Lord.
for having a Father that loves me and has always been there for me.
Yes, sir.
And we ask it all right now in the name of Jesus, we pray.
Name of Jesus.
Amen. Right where you are. Again, don't give up. Because after you've done all you can, after you've done all you can, yes, after you've done all you can, I know you feel like giving up, but don't give up. After you've done all you can, sometimes you have to cry at night and walk the floor. After you've done all you can, I said after you've done all you can, so after you've done all you can, you just stand. Thank you.
so much for tuning in this morning. Again, happy Father's Day to each and every one of you. This is the first time in all my life that this is the first time not having a father to be here with me on Father's Day, but I know that the Bible talks about absent from the body and present with the Lord, so I know where he is. So I just want to say to you again, may God bless you and may God keep you. And as always, happy Father's Day. And we love you. New Bethel, I love you. And those of you that are listening in from other places, we hope to see you real soon. And may God bless you and may God keep you. For those of you that, as always, want to give, you can go to www.NBBWE.org, and there are people on there that will be happy to assist you in your giving and your gift. Again, we love you, and we'll see you again next Sunday. God bless you.